Now that we have finished with the Elasticsearch cluster setup, we will start to set up the Mongo database. Mongo database will be on the same servers as for Greylog response, and it doesn't really matter which Mongo database server will gonna be the master and which will gonna be the secondary, and so on. As we did in the last videos, we were gonna talk only about setting up the Mongo database cluster. One key thing that you need to keep in mind for the Mongo database servers is that you need to have an odd number. That means 1, 3, 5, and so on. Before we jump into configuration, it will be a good practice to copy the current Mongo database from the original to a new location. So in this case, you will always have a fresh copy of the original database. And I will create a new directory for all three servers that you can see here. I'm gonna type my commands here, and the changes will gonna happen only on these three. The rest will be locked. You can see the little lock here. So let's create a directory. Let's call it Mongo database. Then we can tweet. We can print the working directory just to be sure, and we are good. Let's create another one. Let's call it Greylog. Let's go to Greylog right now. Let's print it, and working good. This is what we wanted to achieve. And right now, let's copy the Mongo database with all the privileges. And let's list the contents of the directory. We are good. The same we have done for the other servers. One little thing which I like about to do about Mongo database configurations is that first I would like to manually name my host. Okay, let's try to make a list of our nodes. Using the logical diagram that we have. So for the first IP 10.168.184.113, we will have the name of Greylog1, and then we will do 2 and 3. Oh, I did a small mistake. Greylog1 is .36, not 37 and 38. This is Greylog3 and Greylog2. We can take this text and copy it here in the content. Okay, paste. Same here. And same here. Okay, so right now that we are done, we can save the files. And just to verify it, we can ping the host names. So we can do ping log 2, which is okay, and which is again fine. And you can do the same from the other ones as well, but I'm not going to do it. So after we have copied the original database to a new location, it's time to jump into the configuration file for MongoDB service. To do that, we will gonna go to Etsy folder and then MongoDB conf. Yeah. And here we will need to change the path for the database. Is this one. So that means in our case, MongoDB Graylog and then Mongo. Then for the network interfaces, except the loopback IP address, we will also add the IP address for the interface card, which is 10.168.184.136. And for the replication, because we were going to use the replica set, we will delete the hashtag in front of it. And then here, name our replica set. Do something like rs01, for example. Replica set 01. And that's it. We can save the file. And one trick that we were gonna do here, we were gonna copy this file to the other two servers. Okay, so right now that we have done everything right, it's time to start the Mongo database server. And right now, let's check the status. And here you can see it running. Oh, failed. Here it failed. And the reason for that most probably is because we didn't change the IP address of these two servers. Which is entirely the case here. Okay, let's try to start the service one more time or restart it. And right now, let's check the status. First server is okay, second one is also okay, and third one is okay as well. On one of the Mongo servers, we would need to log into it, initiate it. Then we will need to create a database with username that will have the roles of read, write, and database admin, and then add the other two servers of the cluster to the replica set. I have picked Greylog 1. To go into the console, you just type Mongo and hit enter. Right now we are in the console. Over here we will need to do an rs initiate. Okay, so you can already see the status here that it changed to secondary. If I'm going to hit one more time enter, it should change to primary, and it did. Now we will create a database for Greylog. Let's call it Greylog. For Mongo, to create a database in MongoDB, you simply switch to a non-existing database, like I'm going to do here. Use Greylog. And it will say that it switched to the database of Greylog. Then to have it saved, we need to insert some data. So for example, if I'm going to do a show DBS to check the databases, okay, we are already seeing this one. But if you wouldn't see it, that means that it's not created. So you would need to enter something manually. I would put something like DB, then you can type here anything. I will put fun, and then insert, open brackets, and two curly brackets. And then inside we can put something like happy, something random, it doesn't matter, it can be anything. And something in the codes like 1, 2, 3, and then hit enter. And the insertion is completed. And just to be sure, in case it will not going to be created the first time, you can check again the databases, show DBS, and we are seeing it here. Now we will need to create a user. So to do this, I'm going to do a db, then create user, open bracket, now a curly bracket, here the user, and the user name will be in quotes. I can call it Greylog user. Add a comma at the end and hit enter. Right now the password, pwd, colon, and the password is again between quotes. That's password. And the comma at the end and hit enter. Right now we will do the roles, colon, this time square brackets, and we will have read write, and database ending. Hit enter. I will close the curly brackets, right now the open brackets. Okay, the user already, but in case it wouldn't be, you will need to do it this way. So right now I will simply just add the rest of the members with the following command, rs.add, then open brackets and quotes, and here I can put the name or the IP address of the other Greylog server that I would like to add. So I'm going to say Greylog 2 colon, and then the port number on which Greylog 2 is listening for Mongo database. It's 27017. Okay. And right now semicolon and hit enter. Okay, so right now Greylog 2 is added. Let's check the status. So we have the primary, the server on which we are right now, and Greylog 2 as secondary. So right now we can go to Greylog 2, go into Mongo console, and check the status. Yeah, you can see it here as well. Right now I will add Greylog 3. And I will check the status again to see if it's added. And it is Greylog 3, it's secondary. This one right here as well. You can go again to Greylog 3, go to Mongo console. If you want to test and see if the other two servers or one of the other two servers we will take over the role as master, you can simply shut down the MongoDB service on the primary one. You check the status. Yeah, and it's shut down. Okay, so right now Greylog 2 is the primary. Let's do an rs status. Greylock 3 is still the secondary, Greylock 2 is the primary, and right now we have an error connected to Greylock 1, naturally because the service is stopped. If you are thinking to if you're thinking to put the service back on Greylock 1, or for example, if the server has went through a restart, you will notice that Greylock 1 is no longer the primary one. It's secondary because the primary one is Greylock 2. We can check that one on Greylock 2 to see if it's up. And yeah, you can see that it's running again. And on the primary one, you can do the same things as you have done on Greylock 1. Like, for example, check the databases. And everything is okay. However, on the secondary one, I'm pretty sure that you cannot check the databases. Yeah, and you can't. So this video concludes the setup for Mongo database cluster. In the next video, I'm going to show you how you can set up the Greylock cluster. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe.